Hello, this is the Karma Fitness warm-up to get you guys ready for agility training. Now, a few things I've got to say to you before we do this. Obviously, every single one of you who are going to do this warm-up are going to need different things. If there are specific areas or specific movements that you feel are beneficial to you, then by all means spend a little bit longer on them. And then conversely, if there are any movements that you feel you don't benefit from them, feel free not to put them in your routine. This is my routine, this is what I would suggest you do. You might feel like it's too much for you, you might feel like it's not enough. Again, we're all adults, we can make the decisions for ourselves. This is just what I would advise you do. Your fitness level will decide eventually how many of these movements are going to be in your warm-up. Now you do need to get to a point where you are physically warmed up, but you don't want to be at a point where you are physically exerted so that you don't have the energy to compete at agility. Before we get started, I would advise you go for maybe a 1 to 2 minute jog just to get the blood pumping around the body and to get the general heart rate up. Once you've done that, let's begin. Now you don't need to mark it out, but ideally we're going to be looking for about 10 meters space and we're going to be working between the 10 meters, doing some drills dynamically to warm up our muscle groups. Now I don't have 10 meters in the gym, but what I do have is about 5, and I'm going to be able to demo all the movements that I want you to do. Just make sure that you do it for 10 meters. The first one that we're going to do is the walking quad stretch. What I want you to be aware of is keep your torso nice and tight and keep it very upright. That's going to be the same for all of these unless I say differently. Try to keep your pelvis nice and neutral and don't let it tilt backwards or forwards. Okay? So for the quad stretch, you're just going to be walking, and as you walk, grab the heel, pull it towards your bum and let go. Now what I don't want is any moments for too long on that stretch. We're just grabbing, pulling and releasing. For the full 10 meters. Now if you want to increase the stretch, you can do that, and then you can lift your arm up as well. Same. As I said, because I haven't got 10 meters, I'm just going to do the other 5 meters and come back. We're just going to pull and release and release. You should never get to the point that it's painful, guys. We're just warming up. Okay? And then on the way back so you'll do 10 meters up of that, and then on the way back, we'll do some heel flicks. We're just going to try and get our heels up to our bum. Okay, and I'm not looking to go fast, but I'm looking to maximize ground contact. So as many times my feet can touch the floor as possible in that 10 meters, okay? Again, trying to stay nice and upright, warming our feet up, warming our posterior chain up. The next thing I'm going to be looking to do is a walking knee tuck. And again, it's the same thing. We want our torso nice and upright. We're just pulling our knee in and releasing. You do that for 10 meters. And then on the way back, nice high knee. Make sure you're using your arms. Try to keep the bend about 90 degrees. Looking for good contact placement underneath your hips. Try to keep those toes nice and cocked. Toes up to your knees. For the next 10 meters, what we're going to do is a standing force-down stretch, so that we're feeling the stretch on the outside of our glute. And again, just walk your way up, pull your foot up, and release. And then for the full 10 meters, you do that. The next movement is the straight leg swing march. Again, so for the full 10 meters, what we're looking to do, torso nice and upright, we're going to swing our leg up, touch the other hand. Swap legs. Nice and high, try not to extend into your lower back. I'm not looking for a dead straight leg, we just want to make sure that our hamstrings are getting warmed up and firing our hip flexors. Come across and touch your opposite hand. The next thing that we're going to do is a big lunge, but don't think of the lunge as an exercise, think of it as a stretch. So really step quite far, feel that stretch in your back leg, and keep it dynamic, so don't stay in position for too long. So we're stepping, stretch, and then go straight through. Okay, do that again. So big step, stretch, and then straight through. So after doing the big lunges up for 10 meters, we're going to do reverse lunges back. But with the way up, we were thinking about flexibility. On the way back, we're thinking about balance and coordination. So again, cock those toes, stay nice and upright. When we're doing these lunges, try not to go so deep. Step back and step straight through. Keep your core nice and tight. So we're there, stepping through, and so on. I haven't got much space, so I don't want to keep going, but you get the idea. The next one we call the death march or the zombie march, because you look like a row of zombies if you do it as a group. It's the front leg stays straight, toes are up, one leg stays slightly bent, and you take your hands back, down and through, then step through, back, down and through. And you should feel the stretch in your hamstrings, behind your knee. The next one is going to warm up our feet and our calves. It's just called a heel to toe rock or a heel to toe walk. Make sure to really push onto your toes to get those calves really popping. So as we're coming through, it's nice and slow. We're coming through and up, through and up, through and up. And for the 10 meters back, we're bouncing on our toes, keeping our heels off the floor. Not looking for maximum height, not looking for maximum distance, we're just trying to get as many contacts in as we can over the 10 meters. The next one's referred to as opening and closing the gate. So as you're walking, you're bringing your knee up and out, same on the other side. Try to keep your torso nice and square. You'll do it 10 meters going forward and 10 meters going back. Cues stay the same. Torso stays nice and square on. Try to bring your leg out to in, and then when we're going backwards, up and out. Torso as straight on as you can. Okay? So we look like this. And once you've done the 10 meters, we're going to take it back. It's at this point now we want to activate our muscles a little bit more, so we're going to do some body weight squats. As always, knees track your toes, feet stay flat on the floor. Try to keep your torso nice and tight so that as you go down you're not folding either way. Nice and controlled movement. Let's get 10. No rushing through these, guys. And once you've done 10, we're going to move on to more drills. So next we're going to do some lateral shuffles. On the way up, we're going to be doing it with a nice wide stance, and the aim is going to be to get nice and low, keep your feet outside your shoulders width. It's not about going maximum distance, it's about taking nice small steps, warm up the glute med. So it looks like this. So we're going to take our feet wider than our shoulders, get down nice and low, and it's just walking sideways here. And once you've walked up 10 meters, do the exact same back the other way. So one of the last running specific drills is the straight leg pulls. Torso is nice and upright, legs are straight. We're looking to get foot contact underneath our hips, torso staying nice and upright. Now you can do a static for a few seconds before you move to get the technique, and then once you start moving, look for maximum ground contacts. Once you've gone up for 10, go back for 10 as well. And the last thing to do before you're finished, we're going to do a few backward shuffles into forward sprinting. And I'd say to do between 3 and 5 of these. Again, it's only for 10 meters. And for each of them, however many you do, try to get increasingly faster. Never quite getting to 100%, but if you're going to do 3, maybe do the first one at 60%, second one at maybe 70%, third one at maybe 85, something like that. Would look like this. I'm going to do it slowly, obviously I haven't got as much space. We're going to get a few fast steps in backwards and then transition, put our weight forward and do a few fast steps forward. As I say, I haven't got 10 meters, but try to do it over the full length of the 10 meters. And that's your warm up for speed sessions or for competition, guys. Enjoy the set.